Hola, Captain. So, I got another one for you. Now, this is going to be my third video. Again, who gives a fuck? I don't know. It's just the hard truth. But I have another story. Now, this in particular story pertains to catching a cheater. So, I'm going to label this to catch a cheater. Let's investigate. So, I had this girl that I was engaged to, and we were together for about 2 years, all together. Now, I've always said to, not only, on these videos, I've said to numerous people, I've said it to my family, I've said it to everybody, I'm not a perfect person, I'm just giving my side of the story. Again, if anyone wanted to ask me about what happened on my side, then I'd be glad to tell them. I'm not a saint. I've definitely had my fucked up share, alright? But this is funny, and this could also give some people insight on how to handle this kind of a situation. So let's dive in. So again, a couple years ago, well, more than a couple years ago, about 4 years ago, I was with this girl who I had my first daughter with. And what happened was, we just weren't meant for each other. We were, we fell madly in love. We liked each other for years and fell madly in love for about a month. She gets pregnant. We have a kid. And we were the most toxic relationship I think I could ever recollect in history. It was bad. It was a nasty relationship. And one thing you always hear people say is like, if I could go back in time and change that whole relationship, I wouldn't, because then I wouldn't have my kid. Sorry, it's probably one of those situations. It was so bad. I wouldn't change the experience I had with my daughter. But if I had the chance to go back, oh yeah, you can definitely bet I would go back and change that whole scenario. I didn't want to give her this kind of a life. So yes, of course I would take it back. Not to say I regret anything, but I mean, if we're gonna be picking straws, then yes, I would go back. And at the end of our relationship, what ended up being the end for me was, one day I was at home. I took off of work. I wasn't feeling too hot, and I was cleaning my apartment at the time, and I was doing some laundry, and I went into the dresser, and to put some clothes away, and I was kind of moving some stuff around, folding clothes, putting it back, and when I was doing that, I opened up the drawer, and I see a phone in there. Why is there a phone in there? And it had a full battery charge on it. And so I got a little curious, because it was at the time it was the brand new iPhone 6, and it was an iPhone 6 Plus. Interesting. I just got done buying her an iPhone 6 Plus. She was on my plan, but this was for Verizon. I had AT&T. So she had a whole separate phone. Damn. So I noticed that she had this separate phone, and you know what I did? I didn't do a fucking thing. Not at all. What I did was, I waited for her to get home. She went onto the couch, sat down, and I asked her flat out. I was like, hey, I was just curious, do you love me? She said, yeah, I love you. I said, okay. Would you tell me anything? Yeah, I'll tell you anything. I was like, okay. Is there any secrets that you've ever kept from me that, you want to just get out of the way? No, not that I can think of. I said, are you sure? No. I was like, I'm giving you a chance right now. Are you sure that you aren't hiding anything? Nope. Last chance. Because if you don't just come out with it, it's going to be a nasty argument. No, I'm not hiding anything. Where's this even coming from? I said, okay, here we go. Ooh. I said, okay, what about this hidden phone that you have? What hidden phone? I had it in my back pocket. I said, this one right here, the fully charged iPhone. And she was playing on her iPhone, so she couldn't deny that it was, the phone I got her. And so she said, Oh my fucking God, are you serious? What, I can't have another phone? I said, are you serious right now? You're gonna turn this back around onto me. You're the one that had a whole fucking hidden phone. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm just asking you about this phone. Can you kind of enlighten me a little bit? I shouldn't have to. Why are you going through my drawer? Bitch, your drawer that is in my fucking home. I pay this motherfucker, you don't. You're basically just having free rent right now. Oh, it's not a big deal. I said, okay, if it's not a big deal, then you shouldn't mind me going through your phone, shouldn't you? Let me give you some ideas here. The only reason you'd have another phone that you're not going to tell your significant other about is because you're doing something shady on that phone. And given I didn't even have access to the phone I bought her. That was my motherfucking phone. I bought it. And I didn't even have access to that one. Not because I wanted it, but, you know, it's kind of interesting. I'm paying the bill on it. Shouldn't I have pretty much all the rights to it? Let alone a whole separate hidden phone that has a full battery and a bunch of notifications for messages, and you don't want me to see it. Needless to say, that was an ugly argument. So I ended it. You're not going to let me in on the fucking phone? I broke the phone that I had for you. You can keep this one that you're going to have to pay on now. Like I said, needless to say, I kicked her out. And fast forward, I get my new girlfriend. And here we go. Now with my new girlfriend, almost identical. Fell madly in love. And guess what? You know, we ended up getting married almost a year after being together. And whew, boy howdy, after we got married, we ended up getting to a position in our lives to where she was constantly wanting to go out, hanging out with her friends, hanging out with my friends. I didn't even have any friends, and she's like, oh, why don't we go hang out with your friends? I don't have any fucking friends. Of course we're not going to go hang out with any... What? No, excuse me. Ooh, that was nasty. Needless to say, again, she was always, you know, very front going about wanting to go hang out with her friends every single fucking weekend. Sometimes even on the weekdays, like... God, fucking shoot me. And it's like, her friends weren't even enjoyable. I hated it. And so, eventually got to the point where, yeah, I went and hung out with her and her friends a couple of times. Sure, why not? Yeah. And I'm a firm believer that in order to have a successful relationship, you need to have that openness and willingness to let your significant other go and be with their friends. If you don't, just... let your significant other have that kind of a freedom, you know, like, you know, of course with boundaries, don't let them go fucking shoplifting and shit, but, you know, in order to have a sane, normal relationship, you have to be willing to let them go and hang out with their friends. Just common law. Like, keep them in the fucking basement like Silence of the Lambs. It goes with its friends if it puts the lotion on again, you know, like, what? You have to have that freedom. And I gave her that freedom. You know, I didn't hold anything like that back from her. I didn't have to. However, it gets dicey. It ended up getting so excessive to the point where I started to let her know, like, you know, I really wish we could spend the weekends together, you know, just us. You know, you're gone from Friday till Sunday, and I only get to see you a few hours each of those days because you're always wanting to go over to your friends. Like I said, I don't enjoy the company of your friends, and I'd prefer to be around you, you know, and enjoy your company. Oh my God, you're trying to lock me down. You're trying to keep me from my friends, and And I said no. So what I ended up doing is I compromised. That's like you do in every relationship. I ended up compromising, and I said, how come your friends don't ever come over? So we experimented. Her friends would come over, and I shit you not, they would eat all of my food. They would trash my fucking place. Just hit the fuck out of my whole fucking house. Every single fucking time. Didn't even offer to fucking clean any dishes, God for fucking bid. You're in someone else's home and you're not even gonna offer to wash your own dish? I'm not asking you to put it in the dishwasher, but at least rinse off your fucking plate. And get your feet off my fucking table. Unless I'm putting my feet up on my table, get your fucking feet off my fucking table, okay? I bought it. It's not yours. It's mine. Fuck off. Okay, bye. Okay, end of day. Goodbye. So, it was fucking tragic. So, I ended up saying, okay, you know what? They cost me way too much fucking cleaning time. I can't handle it. No. You guys gotta go do your thing somewhere else. And she, again, thought I was bullying her. I was like, no, your friends are just fucking disrespectful. They're pieces of shit. They come into my home and trash the fucking place. Am I fucking crazy? Londona mobile. Oh, man. Boy, howdy. Boy, howdy. By God. So, needless to say, they ended up fucking off, going to do their own thing at their place. Let them trash their fucking place. I don't give a fuck about theirs. They pay for it. Well, they were on government assistance, so no, they didn't. Oh, man. And there was one special night that stood out. So, after this was going on for about a month, maybe 2 months, roughly, I ended up asking her, like, what my normal routine would be is like, okay, so you're gonna go out, like, when are you planning on leaving?
Oh, I plan on leaving at like 6.
I said, okay. Well, when should I be looking out for you, like, when do I need to be looking out for you?
Oh, you should be looking out for me probably like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
I said, okay, that's fine, And the only reason I ask is because I'm not the kind of person when you're gone, I'm not going to be keeping up with you all the time. I'm not going to be texting you. I'm not going to be calling you. I'm not your fucking parent, I'm going to let you go off and do your thing and enjoy fucking life. And so I let her have that kind of freedom. I just asked her, when do you leave? When are you planning on coming back? Just so I know. That way I'm not having to bug you. First time she ever went, she would come back, instead of it being 9 o'clock, it'd probably be like 10:30. Not a big deal. Got hung up, you having a good time, you lose track of time. You ever lose track of time? I know I fucking do. And then it happens another time. And then another. And then another. And then another. And then another. And then one special night, same routine. This was about a Friday night. And I asked her, so when do you plan on leaving? Oh, I plan on leaving at 6. I said, okay, when do you plan on being back? Oh, I plan on being back at 10:30 or 11 at the latest. Trying to compensate, instead of saying 9 o'clock and then just showing up at 10:30, just set it for 10:30. And then, 11 o'clock the latest, 11:30 the latest. That way you have a little bit of wiggle room time, so I know not to bother. And comes to 10:30. Okay, no problem. 11 o'clock rolls around. Not bothered. 11:30 rolls around. So I text her. I'm like, hey, just checking in on you. Where you at? Just seeing what's going on. No response. Text again at 12. No response. Text again at 12:30. No response. Call at 12:45. No response. Call again at 12:50. No response. I call again at 1 o'clock in the morning. And she forwards my call. I call again. Forwards my call again. Then immediately, as soon as she forwarded my call that next time, I started texting her. And before I could even hit the send button on that text message, she's texting me back saying, sorry, having such a good time. I should be home within the hour. I said, okay. So I call her again immediately as soon as I get that text. I fucking sped right through that motherfucker. And so I call her. She forwards my call again. And if you know me, that is a huge red flag. If you just got done texting me and I'm calling you, why are you forwarding my call? And if you're at your friend's, why wouldn't you answer that call? So my mind already goes to the assumption that she's doing something that she's not supposed to be doing. I don't know what it is, but I know something's wrong. And so, you know what I did? Not a fucking thing. I stayed up all night. I waited till not 1 o'clock, not 2 o'clock, not 3 o'clock, not 4 o'clock. You guessed it. 5 o'clock, she's just pulling into the driveway. So roughly about, 7 hours late. That happens all the time if you didn't know. And so, what I did is, as soon as she pulled into the driveway, I said, okay, I'm going to pretend I'm asleep. So, I lay down in bed, and first thing she does, doesn't say a word, doesn't come in, announce herself, doesn't try to wake me up. She lays right in bed, and at that moment, I can tell she's fucked up. She smelled of pot, she smelled of liquor, and you can tell she was stumbling in on her way into the house. She was fucked up. And so, you know what I did? I waited for her to fall asleep. Took about 5 minutes. She passed right the fuck out. And I did the unforgivable. I broke one of the 10 commandments. I went through her phone. I went through her phone. Just took her phone and held it up to her finger. Unlocked it because I didn't have her password. And boy, did I find some weird shit. Go figure. I ended up finding out that she had multiple messages from a few different guys. And one guy, some of them were about, a few weeks old, some were a few months old. And there was one person on there under the name Maddie. Could be taken as a girl. But highly doubtful because in those text messages, I pretended to be her. So I texted, made it back home, baby. I had such a great time. And this motherfucker said, oh, I did too. And I said, man, I was so fucked up, I barely remember anything. Did we fuck? Oh my god, yeah, babe, we fucked all night and I enjoyed it, da-da-da. This bitch is laying in my bed. This is my now wife. And she's going around fucking all these different guys. Oh, it gets better. So, I start doing some more digging. I get on her Snapchat. I've never worked Snapchat. I've maybe used it once. So, it took me a while to figure out how the whole navigation system worked on this fucker, right? But once I figured out how to get to that camera roll, I found literally hundreds and hundreds of naked photos. Photos I've never seen before. She never even sent me a dirty picture ever. Hundreds of fucking photos of her being naked. Open some Snapchats or chats or snaps or whatever the fuck they are. Snap, crackle, pops. Dick pics, dick pics, dick pics. Love you, baby. Dick pics. Do some more digging. On Messenger or whatever the fuck that messaging system is on Facebook. Messages. I go onto her internet to see what she's looking up. She had a search in her fucking Google on how to keep your mistress life a secret from your husband. Huh? Boy, man, come on. Delete your browser history, my guy. Come on. And then I ended up finding this thing called seekingarrangement.com. Now, it took me some research on what the fuck this was. Seeking Arrangements is a website you get on to basically, under the radar, whore yourself. You are considered someone's property on that. What you do is you put lewd photos of yourself up, and old men will give you an allowance. They don't have to necessarily be old, but, that's who she was talking to. These old men were giving her an allowance to basically let them claim her as theirs. Then I come to find out she had a whole separate bank account with over $3,000 in it from this fucking website. I'm using my own hard cash to fucking pay rent, to pay all the bills, to take care of us. And she had a whole separate, and I'm left dirt broke after every single month. And she had over $3,000 in her bank account from this fucking website. And from people that she has met up with. messages indicating that she had met up with him. Damn, guy. So you know what I did? I took screenshots of all of those conversations. I sent them to my phone, so that way she couldn't say that it wasn't real. I called that Maddie person to verify it was a guy. Oh, and it was. And I gently woke her up, just like I handled the previous girlfriend, or fiance. Just like I handled that, I woke her up and I said, hey, can we talk? I'm sleeping, I'm tired. Said, well, I really want to talk, you know, that's kind of important. No, it can wait. As soon as she said, no, it can wait, I lost my shit. I still kept my cool, but I was getting mad. My ears were turning red and everything. And I said, no, this is something we can talk about now. Who's Maddie? And she said, oh, it's one of my girlfriends. I said, you sure about that? You sure there's nothing you want to tell me about Maddie? No, leave me alone. Drop it. I'm trying to sleep. I said, you know, that's interesting that you say it's one of your girlfriends, because Maddie, when I called him, sounded like a guy, and he said that you guys been fucking. She sat right the fuck up on that one. Man, she stood up real quick. And the first things out of her mouth was, I'm sorry. But that's all I did. I didn't say you did anything else. But that's interesting that you bring that up. You're not getting out of this one, bitch. So, I brought up everything. I laid it all out there for her. Boom! Laid it all out there for her. And you know what she did? She got mad at me for going through her phone. Get the fuck out of here. You're gonna get mad at a motherfucker for catching you, bitch. You fucking skanky whore. And you know what? She stole half of my property. You know, he stole furniture, stole my clothes, stole everything from me. Because she got caught. Because she got found. She was trying to be slick, and you know what? I'm slicker, man. Too sneaky for you. Needless to say, it didn't work out. And it ended very abruptly. So what I was getting at this is, if you have these gut feelings, or there's these kinds of signs, act on it. You know, I'm not saying you should insinuate that kind of stuff from the get-go, which I didn't. I always give people the benefit of the doubt, even if they do something shady. Again, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. Is that right? Yeah, I think it is. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. I'm still trying to drink my coffee. Fucking train. But, you know what? I gave these people the benefit of the doubt. I let them do their thing. I gave them their freedom. And this is just another pure reason why I strongly disagree with having social media. If you can't handle it, don't fucking have it. It's that simple. Get rid of it. She had a fucking wonderful marriage. She hated my ass, apparently, enough to go fucking doing the shit she did, but they both did. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not a perfect person. No one is. But you know what? I did what I could with what I had. I tried to make it work. And if you are so incontent with what you have, leave. Don't fucking put someone else in that kind of a position where they're gonna have to fucking be heartbroken, which, you know, I really wasn't that heartbroken. You know, it was a shocker. It threw me off, you know, but I wasn't heartbroken at all. It was actually a sense of relief, because I was like, oh, fucking finally. Because I had that gut feeling that something was going on. But because I tried to make things work, I dished it out, saying, you know, eventually it would change. Just keep your eyes open, notice the signs, act on those signs, and take pictures. Don't let them give you the opportunity to walk away with nothing. Don't. Get as much as you can, so that way if they ever try to turn that shit back on you, like what she did. She said that I cheated on her to everybody. Everyone came to me and was like, you piece of shit. And you know what? Every single one of those motherfuckers shut their fucking mouth as soon as I showed the evidence. Even her own family. Her family welcomed me with open arms. And you know what? She doesn't talk to any of them. I live with them. Yeah. I'm super close with them and everything. Why? Because I covered my shit. I took pictures, sent it to me, and I was able to prove that she was lying. She said I was a fucking cheater, that I was going behind her back. Fucking piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Another story for another time.